At a music festival, my girlfriend hopped onto her male best friend's shoulders, giggling. "You're taller. So much better than my boyfriend," she shouted. The crowd erupted in cheers. I walked away. The next morning, she realized she'd lost more than just me. Ever had a moment where the world goes silent? Everything narrows to one crystal clear truth, and you see it for what it is. For me, that moment hit last Friday night, surrounded by a roaring crowd of thousands. That truth was the end of my relationship. Let me break it down. My name's Leo. I'm 33, and I run a fitness center. My life revolves around discipline, resilience, and cutting through nonsense. I don't play games. My girlfriend, Maya, after 2 years together, thrives on them. She stirs up chaos, thinking it makes her captivating. For a while, I chalked it up to her personality, but I started seeing it was deliberate, a choice to be self-centered and disrespectful. The core problem was her best friend, Eric, the guy she called her brother. I'm not blind. I noticed how he stared at her, always finding excuses to touch her arm or shoulder. 6 months back, I laid it all out. We had a massive argument about him. I told her I wasn't the type to ignore what's right in front of me. I demanded she set firm boundaries with him or we were through. She sobbed, swore he was just a friend, and promised to prioritize us. For a time, she followed through. His late-night messages stopped. He wasn't at every group hangout. I thought we'd resolved it. Then came the concert last Friday. It was for her favorite band. I went all out to score tickets, spending more than I could afford to make it a special night for us. It was meant to be our moment, a real date, but as we passed through the gates, there he was, Eric, standing there with a cocky smirk. My stomach dropped. Why was he here? My tone was sharp when I asked. Maya got defensive fast. "Oh, come on, Leo, don't make a scene. He got a ticket from a buddy. Total coincidence." I stared at her, then at him. His smug look said it all. This was no accident. It was planned. She'd lied to me. She'd broken the one promise I'd made non-negotiable. "Right?" I said, voice cold. I should have left then. But I'd paid for those tickets and I wanted to enjoy the band. So I decided to act like they didn't exist. A dumb move, I know. But Maya and Eric had their own agenda. They were inseparable, whispering, laughing, lost in their private world of inside jokes I wasn't part of. She was performing for him and I was just the guy who got her there. I wasn't her date. I was her chauffeur. When the headliner took the stage, the crowd pushed forward, and Maya whined she couldn't see. She's short, so it might have been true. "Leo, let me sit on your shoulders," she said, acting like everything was fine. "You know my back's messed up," I replied. "Let's just shift to the side." She pouted for a split second, then turned to Eric with a dazzling, fake smile. "Eric, you'll do it, right?" And just like that, he crouched down, and she climbed onto his shoulders. The crowd, mostly drunk college kids, went wild, cheering her on. She soaked it up, playing the star, loving the attention. Then she looked down at me. Eric's a bit taller, so she was literally looking down. She laughed, loud and harsh. "See?" she yelled, making sure everyone heard. "You're taller. Way better than my boyfriend." The crowd loved it. Eric shot me that same smug, triumphant look. He'd won. That's when the world went quiet for me. The music, the cheers, everything faded. It was just cold, stark clarity. This was the end. The final straw. I didn't yell or lose it. I just looked up at her. This woman I thought I loved, humiliating me on another guy's shoulders, and I smiled, because I was done. I turned and walked away. The crowd didn't need to part. It was like they sensed the energy rolling off me and made way. I didn't glance back. I left the venue, stepped into the crisp night air, and felt nothing but relief. They were probably too caught up in their little win to notice I was gone. Update 1: the cab ride home was the clearest 45 minutes I'd had in ages. No doubts, no second guessing. I knew exactly what needed to happen. I got to my apartment, my name on the lease, my furniture. It was just past 10 p.m. I locked the deadbolt and headed to our bedroom to pack her things. I didn't just toss her stuff around. I used her fancy suitcases, packing everything, clothes, toiletries, all of it. By midnight, it was like she'd never been there. Just a neat row of bags by the door. I knew they'd show up eventually, probably drunk, expecting me to have cooled off. I sat on the couch, flipped on a game, and waited. Around 2:30 a.m., I heard them, giggling, stumbling. Her key scratched at the lock, then hit the deadbolt. Confusion. Then the pounding started. "Leo, open the door. It's stuck." she shouted. I stayed put, watching them on the doorbell camera. Eric, playing the tough guy, tried to ram the door and just bounced off like a fool. It was almost comical. Then my phone rang. I picked up. Leo, what's wrong with the door? She demanded. Nothing, I said. It's locked. Then unlock it. No, a pause. What do you mean, no? You don't live here anymore, Maya. You found someone way better. Go live with him. Your bags are packed. Goodbye. Eric was yelling something in the background. She stammered. You're dumping me over a joke? You dumped us when you lied and brought him to the concert, I said. The rest was just you making sure I got the message in front of thousands. We're done. I hung up and blocked both their numbers. The banging went on for a bit. Finally, I yelled through the door, Maya, tell your buddy to stop before he hurts himself. He'll need his strength to carry your bags. They eventually left. I watched them go on the camera. Felt right. The next morning, I moved her suitcases to the building's hallway. I used an app to send her an anonymous text. Your stuff's in the hall. Then I hit the gym. When I got back, her bags were gone. The calm didn't last. By Monday, she'd launched a smear campaign. I was the bad guy, the jealous, controlling boyfriend who couldn't handle a joke. I'd abandoned her at the concert and, in a crazed rage, kicked her out of her home. The story spread fast among our friends. Some bought it and texted me. I deleted those. My true friends, the ones who know me, called to hear my side. I told them the truth, plain and simple. They understood. The rest? I didn't care. If they believed her lies, they weren't worth my time. I knew she and Eric wouldn't let it go. His ego was too big. So I waited for round 2. They showed up on Saturday, a week after the concert. I was in my building's parking garage, loading new weights into my truck. They pulled up, blocking me in. Maya got out, tears streaming. Eric got out, itching for a fight. Leo, we need to talk, she said. No, we don't, I said, not looking up. Eric stepped forward. She's talking to you. Show some respect. I turned to him. This isn't your business. Step off. I'm not going anywhere, he said, getting in my face, using his height to try to intimidate me. It didn't work. You embarrassed her. Apologize. I laughed in his face. Apologize? Move, Eric. I tried to walk past, and he shoved me. Hard, right in the chest, pushing me back a step. I said apologize. That was it. All the lies, the disrespect, that smug grin. It all hit at once. He'd made it physical. My body reacted on instinct. I've trained my whole life. One clean right hook to his jaw and he crumpled. He was out cold before he hit the ground. Maya screamed, You monster! I'm calling the police. Go for it, I said, flexing my hand. I'll show them the garage footage of your buddy assaulting me first. See who they side with. She froze, phone in hand, glancing at Eric, groaning on the concrete, then at me, calm as ever. For the first time, I saw fear in her eyes. Update 2. That punch changed everything. It wasn't about winning, it was about ending it. Maya, crying, dragged a dazed, bloody Eric to his car. They peeled out without another word. The threat of footage and an assault charge shut down her drama. The story of the punch spread, but without context, their narrative fell flat. My real friends knew the truth, and anyone at the concert who saw her antics could piece it together. You can't call someone a villain when you were publicly humiliating them days earlier. Their smear campaign fizzled. A week later, the pleading started. Maya used friends' phones to send long, desperate texts. It was a mistake. She was drunk. Eric was just a friend. The usual excuses. I blocked each number as it came. Then she showed up at my gym mid-session with a client. She looked like a shell of herself. I told my client to take a break and walked her outside. You can't be here, I said. Leo, please, she begged. I screwed up. It was the worst mistake of my life. Good, I said. Then you know why we're done. But I love you. I'll do anything. I told Eric we're done, I swear. Too late, I said, turning to leave. Wait, she grabbed my arm. We can fix this. But first, you need to apologize to Eric. You really hurt him. And he was just standing up for me. I stared at her, stunned. 10 seconds of pure disbelief. She wanted me to apologize to the guy she cheated with, who helped her humiliate me, who shoved me first. The audacity was almost genius. I burst out laughing, a deep, uncontrollable laugh. I couldn't stop, leaning against the wall for support. What's so funny? she snapped, angry and confused. You? I gasped, wiping my eyes. You actually think you're still calling the shots? You think you're the prize? I straightened, looked her in the eye. Get out, Maya. Don't come back. We're done. And no, I'm not apologizing to your boyfriend. I walked back into my gym and locked the door. Final update, it's been 6 months. She hasn't contacted me since. The threat of a restraining order finally sank in. From what I've heard through mutual friends, her life's a mess. She and Eric tried dating, but their whole vibe was built on him being the better option. Without me to play the villain, they had nothing to fuel their drama, and it fell apart. They had a huge public blowout at a bar, and that was it. Eric's tough guy image took a hit. The story of him getting knocked out after messing with his friend's girlfriend made him a local punchline. I heard he needed dental work, too pricey. Maya moved back with her parents. Without me covering her expenses, she couldn't keep her place. She stuck in a dull office job, griping constantly. She went from party queen to cubicle drone. I saw her once, a few weeks ago, while on a date with someone new. We were at a restaurant and Maya was our server. She saw me, went pale and told her manager she was sick, then bolted. My date asked what that was about. I just smiled. Long story, and it is a long story, but it's finished. The best revenge wasn't the punch or locking her out. It was walking away from her chaos. I stepped out of her script and let her and Eric have the stage they craved. Like most bad performers, they bombed. They didn't just lose a boyfriend that night. They lost their audience. For people like them, that's the worst punishment of all.